Straight ahead on 12 News, too many close calls and the reminder about a law to protect those who protect and serve. Then, ditching your debt, top advice from local experts on dumping credit card red ink. But first, working feverishly on a big surprise for a special return home.
We want him to walk in and go, yeah, I'm home.
12 News starts right now. An extreme home makeover is underway in Brooklyn Center. Hello, everyone, and thanks for joining us. I'm Mike Johnson.
And I'm Alexandra Renslow. This week, more than 120 soldiers returned from Afghanistan, and at least one of them is going to a house he's never been in before. Renee Bonneau shows us this community effort to make his new house a home.
We put new window treatments up in the living room here.
When Crystal Cook bought this vacant home in January, she knew it was a fixer-upper.
A few things in the bathroom, the sink needed to be replaced, and we had a faucet in the kitchen and the dishwasher that needed to be replaced.
It was work that would have had to wait until her husband Justin returned from a year-long deployment in Afghanistan, if not for a little help from a friendly group of strangers.
We got approached by a family and through Beyond the Yellow Ribbon that they needed to get the house all up to code and to be a move-in ready.
Volunteers from the Military Family Support Ministry of Lord of Life Lutheran Church in Maple Grove are pitching in time and money to remodel the house before Justin comes home.
They don't have to spend too much time fixing up their house, but rather reconnect it after this many months of being apart.
The Maple Grove Lions donated $5,000 for supplies. Local businesses offered the group deep discounts. Some even did work for free. Everyone thought they had weeks to work on the house.
Next thing we knew, it was, hey, you're gonna be home in a week and a half.
Now it's a mad dash to get done by Wednesday night. It's a race volunteers say is well worth the effort.
I've been there and done that, so I was a Vietnam veteran and glad to help any veteran.
We want him to walk in and go, yeah, I'm home.
Lord of Life estimates the project will end up costing about $12,000. If you'd like to make a donation, contact the church at 420-5015. Mike and Alex, Justin has seen pictures of the house on Skype and through pictures, but he has never seen it in person. And of course, he knows that something's going on. He just doesn't know the extent of this project. So Crystal says he'll be amazed.
What a cool homecoming that's going to be.
Oh, yeah.
Love to see his face. Thanks a lot, Renee. When drivers see an emergency vehicle on the side of the road, state law requires them to move over to the next lane. Now, if that's not possible, they're supposed to slow down. But a string of recent accidents involving state trooper vehicles has public safety officials urging the public to be more careful out on the roads. Here's Delane Cleveland with the story.
Minnesota's highways can be a dangerous place. Just ask State Trooper Robert Rossen.
On Friday, I was struck while attending to a stalled vehicle on the side of the road.
The incident happened in New Brighton along Interstate 694 near Silver Lake Road.
The vehicle was on the right shoulder. It was a straight section of 694.
In this dash cam video provided by the State Patrol, you can see the stalled vehicle parked in front of the trooper's car. Then someone pulls in front of the stalled vehicle to provide assistance.
As that vehicle pulled to the right shoulder, traffic started to slow down, causing other vehicles to slow quickly, and a vehicle, to avoid a collision, came to the right shoulder and struck my squad at a fairly high rate of speed.
Both vehicles involved sustained a fair amount of damage, while everyone involved suffered non-life-threatening injuries.
It's an unfortunate reminder that says, hey, it's something you constantly have to be aware of.
State troopers have to be aware because accidents are a familiar trend. Since 2010, 79 state trooper vehicles have been hit. There was 27 in 2010, 26 in 2011, 17 in 2012, and 10 so far this year.
These are avoidable situations by motorists just paying attention, moving over when they see emergency vehicles on the side of the road, and also just keeping that in mind at all times when they're driving.
Something else that drivers have to keep in mind is to keep a safe distance from the car in front of them.
It seems, a lot of people might be following too close or going too fast for the distances that they're following other vehicles, and they're unable to react in time.
That's precisely what happened to Rossen in New Brighton last Friday, and one other time earlier in his career. He hopes it doesn't happen again.
But you also have to keep it in the back of your mind that that's another threat while you're on the side of the road.
In Golden Valley, Delane Cleveland, 12 News.
Of the 10 trooper squads hit so far this year, 2 state troopers have been injured. Weather was not a factor in any of those incidents.
The largest heroin bust in Dakota County history is linked to a Brooklyn Park man. Warren Como is charged with first-degree drug possession of a controlled substance. Police spotted Como when they responded to an unrelated domestic disturbance call. Officers arrested Como when he tried to take off running. Police seized more than 2 pounds of heroin that investigators say is easily worth more than $100,000.
Counterfeit money is showing up right now in the metro, including in Golden Valley, and police are warning business owners to be on the lookout.
If you think or know the money is counterfeit, what we'd like you to do is don't give the money back to the person. Try to delay them, call the police, and the police will come and decipher whether the money is real or fake and deal with that potential suspect.
Take a look at a few of the counterfeit bills that have surfaced in Golden Valley over the past few months. It's happening mainly at gas stations and fast food restaurants, and it can be tricky to tell the difference between the real bills on the left and the phony ones on the right, but they do feel different. The counterfeit bills feel smooth like copy paper, not grainy like a real bill, and it all comes down to paying attention to detail.
One of the things you'll also see with some counterfeiting is that the printing and the images are not as crisp as they are on real currency.
No arrests have been made in these counterfeit cases. The Secret Service office in Minneapolis tells us the use of counterfeit bills tends to spike around the holidays, and it takes several months for the money to end up at police stations. Meantime, Golden Valley residents have a new way to find out about crime happening in their community. Residents can sign up for this online crime mapping system and get alerts via email or on a smartphone. You can choose which alerts you want to receive, such as thefts, burglaries, vandalism, and fraud, and the online tool shows you exactly where the incident occurred. Residents can sign up for the alerts by going to the Golden Valley City website and clicking on the police department.
A former Cooper High School principal and Park Center teacher is taking over the top post overseeing high school principals. David Adney has accepted the lead position at the Minnesota Association of Secondary School Principals, a group that helps principals grow in their jobs. Adney is currently the principal at Minnetonka High School. Adney gained positive attention recently for his stance on yoga pants in schools and for his Dance Like Grandma is Watching campaign to discourage inappropriate behavior at school dances. Well, coming up, tips to get that debt monkey off your back.
Top local experts unveil their best strategies up next. And later in sports, the Wayzata softball team is eager to take a run at the state tournament this spring.
But first, be wary of sunburn. That's right, the sun's intensity right now is comparable to September.
Are we chipping away at that mountain of debt? New research shows young adults have less credit card debt today than they did 10 years ago.
But dealing with credit card debt is still an issue many Americans struggle with. And in today's Money Savers report, 12 News reporter Shannon Slatton shares ways to get that debt paid off.
Credit cards can actually be good for your credit score when used responsibly. Most of us know it's not good to carry a large amount of credit card debt. But what you might not know is there are different methods for digging out from under the debt.
Credit card debt is a bad debt because it's generally high interest, and generally it's for stuff that it's not worth a lot.
Plymouth financial planner Nicole Middendorf doesn't mince words when talking about credit cards.
Generally, credit card is debt that you want to get rid of, and you want to get rid of it as fast as possible because it's usually very high interest rates.
One way to do that is to organize your cards by interest rate and pay the card with the highest interest rate first.
Really make a commitment to getting rid of that debt, and so pay as much as you possibly can towards that highest interest rate and then make the minimum payments to the rest of the cards.
You can also consider a balanced transfer. That worked for Maple Grove book author and personal finance expert Carrie Hasha.
One of the things that my husband and I did while we were getting out of over $50,000 in debt, we very strategically used the 0% balance transfer credit cards.
Carrie says this worked for her because she had good credit and is detail-oriented, so she paid careful attention to the fine print.
You want to maximize your money toward the principal and not just be spending it all on interest.
Finally, consider the snowball approach. This is where you pay off the lowest amount first and work your way up, getting satisfaction from each paid-off debt.
It really builds motivation when you see some of these debts fall by the wayside, and there's research that shows that our motivation tanks when we have a whole bunch of open lines of credit, that our anxiety goes up. So if you've got 8 different credit cards and you're paying a little bit each month, organize them and order them, and then put laser focus on the one with the lowest balance and pay that off.
Both Carrie and Nicole stress that once you do dig yourself out from under credit card debt, you must make a behavior or attitude change toward your money. Otherwise, you're likely to be in the same situation once again. For Money Savers, Shannon Slatton, 12 News.
All right, money's not easy sometimes.
Good advice.
Yep. Well, coming up, the reason students at Robbinsdale Spanish Immersion are cheering on a fellow classmate.
But first in sports, they'll have a lot of new faces in the lineup this spring in the Maple Grove baseball program. John Jacobson has that and more when we come back.
John Jacobson with Sports Now, and Maple Grove always has a pretty good baseball team. I guess we'll see how this younger group will do if they can get outside and play a game.
Yeah, if they can actually get out to play.
Yeah, they've been practicing in the gym or in the sports dome, but it's a little bit different than actually getting outside, and haven't been able to do that like any of the spring teams. The high school baseball season is just around the corner, if the weather cooperates, that is. The Maple Grove Crimson will have a lot of new faces on the diamond this spring. As a couple of regulars from last season's Northwest Suburban Conference Championship team are back. Maple Grove won 20-5, falling to Totino Grace in the Section 5 3A championship round. There are some young talent as players battle for spots, and things are coming together well.
It's like our catchers are fighting for a spot, some outfielders are fighting this 4th spot, almost the whole infield. So right now it's just wide open. I think it's about 2 or 3 people coming back. We lost a lot last year, so I mean, I think we're ready to go, though. People think this is just like a get back in it this year. I think we're ready to play this year, so we're going to surprise some people.
Yeah, we got a lot of young guys coming in this year fighting for spots. I mean, our middle infield could be both freshmen, so it should be a lot of good years coming up.
Pitchers Tyler Field and Eric Kivy and outfielder Joe Franta are the most experienced players back for Maple Grove. Although they have fewer proven varsity players than last spring, the Crimson remain high in their goals for the season.
Our defense is looking good. I mean, it's early in the season, so we haven't seen enough to tell how good we're going to be, but I like what I've seen so far.
I think it hopefully starts from the top. You know, if your coaching staff has high expectations and you coach accordingly, a lot of times the students and the athletes will rise to the occasion. So, you know, we're looking for that. I'm a realist too, knowing that, when you come back and you only have 2 starting fielders, positions back in our center field of Franta, who's an all-conference player, and then our other returners, a 9th grader, Collins, and he'll be at shortstop this year, and the rest of the positions are kind of up for grabs.
Maple Grove's first game was scheduled for Thursday against Armstrong, but that has been postponed. For now, the season opener is slated for next Wednesday and a good matchup at Coon Rapids. Like Maple Grove's baseball team, Wayzata's softball team fell just short of reaching the state tournament last spring. Trojans hope to take that next step this season. The Trojans have 6 starters returning from a team that finished as runner-up to Orono in the Section 6 3A tournament. It's a group that's gotten a lot of good work in as preseason practices started up, and experience helps.
I think experience is the biggest thing. We had 3 freshmen last year, and then I can already tell this year that they have a ton of confidence, and I'm so excited just to see them excel with their second year, just having more confidence. So
it'll definitely be a help. Everybody or most of the people being experienced, and kind of helping the new people along to know how to act and how to play well, and it'll be good. It'll be a good mix.
Second baseman Casey Palish, shortstop Anna Gimmelstead, and third baseman Reagan Williams lead a solid infield. Outfielders Allie and Steph Kirk are also strong returners. Kristen Edblom will take over the primary pitching duty this spring. While they need to take a lot of steps along the way, Trojans admit the state tournament is on their minds.
You know, they've set it as a goal for themselves as a team, as a long-term goal of something that we're building towards and what they want to achieve, and I want that out there for them, but they're also reminded each and every day to take it one day at a time and make sure that they're focusing on today.
I told Amber during tryouts, I don't want to lose sections for the 3rd time in a row. No, we're definitely looking to get to state this year, so.
Here's a look ahead to Thursday's 12 News. There's a final vote on a plan to bring a new car dealership to Golden Valley. We'll have a recap. Plus, we'll meet a standout student in Golden Valley who is making her mark on photography. And in sports, we'll hear from some of the local players competing in this weekend's high school boys basketball all-star games. Those stories and more right here Thursday beginning at 4. Well, finally, it's a day to remember for 9-year-old Carter Zirbes.
The Crystal third grader is being celebrated for helping his little brother who's fighting cancer. Sonia Goins has the story.
9-year-old Carter Zirbes says he feels like a rock star.
Thank you.
The mayor of Crystal proclaimed today Carter Zirbes Day.
The kids are just so excited for him.
And his fellow students at Robbinsdale Spanish Immersion
Anthony
weren't afraid to show him some love. And rightly so. The third grader is doing an amazing thing.
The first year I raised around $1,600. The second year I raised more than $11,000.
Carter's trying to raise $15,000 for the Miracles of Mitch Foundation.
After my brother got cancer, I felt really worried.
It's in honor of his little brother Axel, who's fighting cancer.
He loves like Legos and toy soldiers.
6-year-old Axel was diagnosed with leukemia in 2010.
It was really hard back then because I'd be having to help a lot with my sisters and my brother.
It's been hard for Carter to see his brother sick.
Sometimes I feel like he might never come home once he goes to the doctor.
He has a big heart.
He's just a really great older brother, and I think that it's been hard, but he's learned a lot.
He says he's not only doing this for his brother.
It's just a big thing to me because I'm not just helping my brother with cancer, I'm also helping thousands of other families. Happy Carter Day! The kids are just so excited for him and proud of him as well.
In New Hope, Sonia Goins, 12 News.
And last year, as you heard, he raised more than $11,000. If you would like to donate, you can go to 12.tv for more information. And tonight, the mayor of Crystal will proclaim Carter's Day during the city council meeting.
And I understand you can look for him at the local farmers market out there selling homemade jams.
Homemade jams, trying to raise that $15,000.
Pretty good at that, though.
I'd say so. That's all the news for us. Thanks so much for joining us.
Stay with us. Community Corners coming up next, and we'll see you back here again tomorrow.
Wayzata is scheduled to start the season next Wednesday, April 10th, at home against Anoka. They have been close. Lost to Hopkins a couple of years ago in the section final, and then last year Orono. So maybe this is their turn.
This is the year. All right, thanks, John. Still ahead, a day a Crystal third grader can call all his own.
The special reason why when we come back.